It's time for the show that knows no party lines, has no party affiliations, and isn't represented by any of the scumbags in Washington that are ruining this country. Welcome to All the News, the political show dedicated to regular people and the effects government control has on them. Now, with all the news, here's Chris Aiken.
What is going on, everybody? It is Chris Aiken, and this is All the News. Hope everybody's having a good week. Certainly hope you guys are, just living your life while you can, because if you keep up with the news, and you really keep up with the news, not just the spoon-fed stuff that you get from the networks, then you know the way that we live is in a lot of trouble. Things are just not good these days. And we're going to isolate down on a lot of that stuff today. Not necessarily breaking out what exactly is going on, exact points and stuff, although we will do that as we always do. But I kind of wanted, just based on the way the news and the stories laid out this week, I sort of wanted to go ahead and isolate down on just why it is that people are surprised that so much bad is going on in our government. Because one of the things that I'm noticing more and more is that people are finally starting to wake up to this. You know, it's been however many years that this stuff has been going on. And we're going to prove to you it's been long-term, and it's been a long-term plan. We're going to prove that to you today. But what kills me when I'm watching news and reading blogs and reading what's going on is how surprised people are that the government's going to do something illegal. How can that be? These are my elected officials. They're supposed to be good, upstanding people. How could it be that they would do this? It's all a crock, people. It's just all a crock. Anybody that believes, even on some subconscious level, that anybody in an elected office is some good moral person is a fool. That's right. They're a fool. Not misinformed, not misled or misguided. Foolish. You're just a fool. If you thought, as an example, that President Obama was going to be this moral keeper of change, then you're just wrong. If Bush, evil, and President Obama was going to be the quote-unquote savior, you're wrong. He is as dirty a politician as they come, as was President Bush, as was President Clinton, as was President Nixon, as was President Reagan, as was President Carter. It goes on and on. And the interesting thing is you can go back through time, as we will do today, and prove on all levels, on every level, that people that are in politics are scumbag douches who really have just found a way to exist in the world. That's really all they are. They're the only difference between most of your politicians and most of your people in jail is that your politicians today and of yesterday have found a way to integrate their crimes into the world of politics so that they don't get charged for it. I know, that sounds crazy, but I'm going to prove that to you today. Not that any of you, and I certainly don't think that any of you think that politicians are, Snow White or whatever, but they are dirty, immoral scumbags. All of them. And I know I'm making quite a sweeping generalization, aren't I? All of them are scumbags. Everybody. Now, admittedly, there's probably a couple that are not. There's probably some decent people. And you know what? They don't go anywhere. They don't make it. Scumbags rule the United States of America. And on every industry, every single industry you think of, scumbags are the rulers of the world. Do you not see that? Or maybe it's just not pointed out. I always love it when people are surprised when somebody does something immoral. Holy cow, Tiger Woods cheated on his wife 14 times. That's stunning. Wow, that's outrageous, right? Why is that outrageous? Honestly. He's a celebrity. He's rich. He's a scumbag. He doesn't have any ethics. That's where I'm always confused, and I always just kind of laugh when people are outraged about anything. Michael Jackson rapes kids. Oh, outrageous. How could that be? I like his songs. That's outrageous, right? It's not. That's my whole point of the show this week. There's nothing outrageous other than the people's stupidity, and I'm saying stupidity, not misinformation, nothing. For whatever reason, and I think I know the reason, but for whatever reason, people are constantly stunned to find out that people are garbage. But the reality of life is that people are garbage on all levels. There's a couple good ones here and there, but it doesn't matter what field you go into. The overwhelming theme that rules the world is that people suck. I say it all the time to my friends. I don't like people. I personally don't like people. And the reason I don't like people is because every time you do, they screw you. Think about it in your own life. Think about if it's a parent, if it's a relative, if it's a boss, if it's a coworker, if it's somebody that you know casually, somebody that's close to you, and then spread out from it. Is it somebody that you watch on TV? Is it your priest? Is it your, your celebrity athlete? Is it it doesn't matter what. You can fill in the blanks here, and you'll see it time and time again. But nobody looks at it. Everybody, for whatever reason, people are consistently stunned when my favorite football player did this, or my favorite golfer did that. I mean, here in Cleveland, everybody was shocked and amazed that wide receiver Dante Stallworth was drunk driving and killed somebody. Why are you shocked by that? Do you not have ESPN on your TV? Do you not get ESPN.com? Because if you do, you would know he's not the first. He's not going to be the last. Ben Roethlisberger was big in the news this week because he got off on his rape trial or whatever. Second time in 2 years that the guy was accused of rape. But yet, that's stunning. How could this have happened? How could Ben have done this? Why is that shocking? The guy's a 3-time loser if you count his recklessness on his motorcycle. But people still pretend that they're shocked. I don't understand why they pretend to be shocked. If you look just recently in the recent history of the NFL, and I'm just pointing to them, but you can go to any sport, it runs rampant. Leonard Little from the Rams killed somebody, I believe, drunk driving. I believe that's what he did. Darren Williams was killed in a bar fight. Obviously, we got the Roethlisberger stuff here. Plaxico Burress shooting a gun off in a club. Santonio Holmes, busted time and time again for smoking weed, for, illegal drug use. It just goes on constantly. And it goes on in any sport. And where I'm going to with this week is it goes on in the government too. And yet, like the stupid sheep that we are, people are stunned. People are constantly like, wow, how could that have happened? And I don't get it. I don't get why the people are not more awake to what's going on in the world. So now you're probably wondering, well, just what exactly is it that set me into this zone this week? Why am I picking on, pop culture? Well, I'm not really picking on pop culture. There was another story that broke this week that just kind of, the story itself didn't shock me at all, but it certainly woke me up to just how stupid Americans are. And we will get into that here. Basically, if you heard earlier this week, a judge ruled against the National Day of Prayer, right? The National Day of Prayer. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on this. Anybody, please. But the National Day of Prayer, because I'm not a guy that celebrates the National Day of Prayer. I don't care if other people do, and that's cool. And,